Hello, I am back again. I'm doing another tier list. Okay, this one's a little bit special because... So, I hope I got the music laid up perfectly. Again, I'm testing these things. I gotta make sure I get this all right. But, with the Frollo Show, gonna end soon, I wanted to make an actual, recorded tier list. I probably will update it again, honestly, because once the final episode airs, I don't know how many characters will be in it, but it probably will be enough to warrant changing this. But yeah, I wanna do this. I originally made an actual Frollo Show tier list myself. No, I think I was the first one to do that, really. And then someone made this one, which had, because I didn't update it in ages, and they had a lot of characters that weren't there before. They also added some weird nonsense down here that I probably won't rank. But generally, I'm going to be ranking all the characters from the Frollo Show. I'm also going to explain to you, if you have no idea anything about the Frollo Show. I want this to be where do all these characters? What are they? What's their deal? What makes them different from the original source? I'm going to try my best to explain that. But the Frollo Show is just so cool. I love the Frollo Show. I've been watching it along with all Chin's content for the longest time. I feel like a lot of people are kind of weirded out by it because it's very it's a little bit graphic sometimes, especially in the later episodes. It gets really graphic because Chin really upped his ante and with horror and stuff. But if you couldn't hear by the music, I am a Corpse Party fan, so that shit doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I love it. I think it enhances the atmosphere. And Chin's also a Corpse Party fan, I think, which is even awesomer. So, hopefully, he sees this. He's like, wow, cool, Corpse Party. More Corpse Party fans. Awesome. But anyway, so I'm gonna be real. I don't is the dude even a character in this? I mean, if you watch the show, you've probably seen this guy isn't a character. I think he appears for 1 second on the TV, and that's classified as a character. He shouldn't even put him on a Facebook poll versus another character a while back, and I'm surprised he did that. This is not a character. There are other characters who came back recently have more of a place than he does. Do I rank Gaston now? I'm not sure I want to rank Gaston now. Gaston's very complicated to talk about because for the longest time, everyone had theories about Gaston's character. Because as you know, the whole point of the Frollo Show is it's the one line: Frollo and Gaston are bros, and they hang out and shenanigans ensue. And as the series went on, more of Gaston's true nature was teased over and over. How he had reality-bending powers. He could interact with the game cartridge of the universe. He broke the fourth wall, and on thumbnails, Chin would slowly start putting him alongside other strange characters, upside down, and thinking, oh, he's not like the others, he's a little bit strange. And most people, I think, didn't even pick up on it, which is funny. But no, Gaston always had something going on. But at the end of the day, he's always been this goofy... He's compared to the original source, where Gaston's kind of an asshole jerk, this is he wasn't very smart. He was competent, but he wasn't smart. This Gaston he's smart, he's cunning, he's really more competent than Frollo is. And he's always the best. He's the best bro you could ever ask for in a lot of cases. But I've always been kind of and there was a point in time where I feel it felt a little bit fake, and I feel I thought Chin was gonna get into it when Gaston left in the ending. That Gaston because Gaston did fuck with Frollo a little bit. There were some moments where he never told Frollo everything. He could have helped Frollo out in a lot of cases, but didn't. So I always wondered if he's as much of a bro as Frollo even thinks he is. And we'll get into who I think is his real bro later, personally. But I still rank him highly. I mean, he is a core character of the show. He made the show what it is. I wouldn't put him any lower. Use of Frollo. This was the first real villain of the show, back in when it was still very YouTube related. And this started the trend of all of Frollo's cousins, and with that were from different regions and had funny stereotypical hats. I think it was a good gag. This character is funny, but weirdly enough, I feel like as the series went on, he became so irrelevant. I think he's the leader of the Arabian Frollos, obviously, but I still feel like he's not that crazy, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like all the other Arabian bros are more relevant than he is, and even like in the final battle, Frollo gets flashed. Birthday party, he was only there to fly a plane into the cathedral, and then he like got taken out instantly. He didn't even show up to the party. Like, that feels weird. Like, he was the one who did that. I don't get it. But you know what I mean? Like, he's still important, I guess. I don't want to diss him too hard, but I'll put him like, I feel like I kind of have to. He was one of the first big villains. All right. Idol Ramones. I like this character a lot. I didn't really, again, he's another one of those like Spanish characters that's like bros with mouse on. He for a character that showed up late in the birthday party, that apparently he only appeared once and that was it. Like, he kind of just, he felt like he was always here. And it was just funny because he wasn't. Like, Chin made really good use of all of his like sources. Like, he was a little bit of a comedic guy. He was a bro with like Mausan and Haruhi. He had personality. He was genuinely sad when like Haruhi died. Like, I remember like when Haruhi died, supposedly. He freaked out. Like, I actually believe like the Chin edit he did there, where he was like screaming in disbelief that happened to Haruhi. And it's like, man, that was cool. That was like so well done. Like, well, honestly, bravo to Chin for that. I think I put him like, honestly, I would put him very high. Maybe even S tier. I think for a character to join late to leave such an impression on me, that's impressive. Anacharis. This is a goofy character. I feel very strangely about him. He's just kind of comedy relief. He's a roast with Irene. And for a Darkstalker's like Rev, I think he leaves more of an impression than Dimitri and Morgan do, which I forget they're even in the show to begin with. Like, I remember him. But I remember him. Like, that's it. Like, I don't remember any particular lines or moments outside of like things that were with him and other characters. Like whenever he's working with Irene, and he says, there are lizards in my pants. I'm like, okay, that I remember that, but that's again a goofy moment. That's it. Okay. If you've seen the Law video, I'm assuming it's come out already. You know I have a complicated opinion of how Chin has used Aya in all of his sources, and I feel like this is the series that really started that. Aya just kind of got thrown into the pity group, like, randomly, and I feel like Chin only did it because she was in Law at the time. She had no interactions with other characters as far as I'm aware. Again, I haven't seen Elite Fighters. I don't know. I won't be ranking in Elite Fighters characters here as well. So maybe there's something I'm missing. I will eventually make a new tier list probably once I've seen that. But yeah, no, I feel like she's awful. I don't think she's ever got. She's a nothing character. She is just Aya from the games. And what makes it even worse is like now that because Ronald did the thing, all the pity characters just amounted to like nothing. As far as they had the character development in that moment. They're probably all okay-ish. I don't know if Frollo and Gaston are gonna go back and save any of them. I hope he does. But she will probably always exist as just she is Aya, and she was thrown in the last second. And she amounts to nothing. Here's a hot take. Maybe? I don't know if anyone's passionate about this character as I am. I think Ayumu is or Ayumu, I don't know how you say his name. I think he's a better bro to Frollo than Gaston ever was. And he has so much more potential for story development, or he had more potential for story-related stuff than even Gaston did. And I love this character. For like a character that like he showed up randomly in the zombie saga, and Frollo beats up evil residents, and he whenever Gaston and Pansy were knocked unconscious and like turned into zombos and stuff, and they weren't knocked unconscious, but you know what I mean. Ayumu was Frollo's only companion, and he literally just prayed for the first time, God knows how long, I bet, and literally like came from the heavens to fight for Frollo, and they were just bros from then on. And Ayumu was very cordial with Frollo. They're a very good duo together. He has such a unique power set that's very balanced within the universe. Like he can't die because he's a zombie, but because he's a zombie, he can also be incapacitated and blown apart, and he can't fight for a while. And because he's also afraid of clowns and stuff, it means even though he's really strong and tanky and can't die, he can't solve all the problems for Frollo. A lot of major enemies in the series were clown enemies. So Ayumu was like, he had like a balance on like the universal tier list, which I like that for him. Like Chin knew what he was doing with this character. He was helpful whenever Frollo needed him, and then whenever they just wanted to hang out. This dude was super chill. Like that scene where Frollo wakes up on his birthday, and Gaston and Ayumu are walking with him, and Ayumu's talking about like a bro. Like I always considered like Ayumu was going to be more important. And then whenever he gets taken out by Wilford Brimley and all that stuff happens, it was so cool. Like all his action scenes were great. But then like everything with Wilford happened again, and Ayumu kind of faded into the background really hard, and that made me really sad. I like this character, and I feel like once Mormon Jesus became a thing, I thought there was something there where it was gonna be revealed, like maybe not in this like timeline or whatever, but like there was gonna be a thing where, oh yeah, because again Ayumu was summoned by like a godly like request or something like that. He's more of an angelic being, that he leaned more towards, like maybe he was like an emissary of Mormon Jesus in disguise. Like maybe he was always working for, I mean, he was like a spy, and he was always like trying to get on Frollo's good side, help him, but he was always working for Mormon Jesus. Now we won't know, unfortunately, because Mormon Jesus was kind of like, I thought he was going to be more relevant. I thought he was going to be revealed to be the true enemy, but nah, he kind of got disposed of already. And I don't think Ayumu is coming back. Chin really hasn't used his character in anything else either. So I think Chin's kind of interest just kind of fell off for Ayumu, which is understandable. You know, we all have our ups and downs and moments with like certain characters and franchises. But yeah, I could gush about this character all the time. I love him. I think he's cool. I wish we saw more of him. But yeah, back to Aegis. Jupiter's cock. I love this guy. He has to go in S tier. Like I've never watched his original source, honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna be very light at how much I talk about the source, obviously, because like again, this is the Frollo Show. Like, damn it. Betsy Aegis is like so memorable as a villain. I feel like he's more relevant than any other like a Spartan character that Chen has ever used in like his sources, which is funny because Leonidas exists. Like I feel like people remember Back to Aegis more because he did the thing. He had the giant fight with Eve, and Frollo gets flashed. Everyone remembers very well. And then he suddenly had a redemption arc we never saw on screen, but we always theorize about, where he broke the death spike. We still don't know what happened down there. That's just lost lore that we'll never see, probably. Maybe that's a sign that everyone is okay somehow, somewhere. They figured out how to escape, but we won't know. It's never been explained. But he's also a really cool combatant. He's like, for all his like crazy bravado and his anger, he's got some goofy abilities. I like him. He's a good villain. Best Turk. Oh god. See, I'm not gonna make a best tier for this. I feel like this tier list deserves more than having a goofy, silly joke tier. Best Turk, I think, is one of the best characters. Chin made me compassionate for this joke character so well. I wanted to see more of him. I actually want and hope that Best Turk comes back and he wasn't saved from all like the mind altering stuff, and he becomes like a genuine threat to Frollo. Like, I would love that. But I also like how, even though he gets his ultimate powers, he fucks up still because he's vest hurt. He doesn't know how to use his like he knows how to use it, but he doesn't think one step ahead at all. So he messes up all the time. I love that. And Chin also got like actual voice acting with this character that really sold the core of like how he speaks. Oh my god, he's so good. And his relationship with Boris is great. The best romance. You know, we'll go ahead. We'll rank Boris as well. I think Boris deserves an S tier as well. I mean, I don't know. I think I'll put him down in A tier actually, because he's Boris. He's funny. He deserves to be here. Chin uses him. He actually had a cool moment when he uses like goes, I have the power, and he actually like start knocking around some villains and stuff. Like that was awesome. That was actually really impressive. And I kind of sad that, you know, that had to lead to, you know, Best Herc's arc, unfortunately. So he couldn't last forever. But they got to meet again in the afterlife. I'm glad Shin actually went out of his way to do that. Give them a little thing. That was very sweet. Everyone was very passionate about these two. That's in my heart of hearts, that's where I wish we got more of these two. I hope we do get another Boars review maybe in the future. I don't know. We'll see. Last one was really good. I really liked it. I know a lot of people are iffy on it. The animation, that was when Shin was still finding his new groove with all these characters, obviously. Again, he hadn't animated like them like that in a while. And live action characters are still kind of iffy, but Boars was okay. We got Billy Mays here. Yeah, you know what? I think Billy Mays was really funny. The fact he came in so late, but I remember, that's right, I'm your buddy. Like, oh my god, like, you shut your whore mouth when Billy Mays is talking. I love that. Oh my god, all of his lines in that episode are so quotable. If you've seen the Pity episodes, you know. Chin is so funny with Billy Mays in this. I wish he was here more. God, I wish we got to see them enter the portal and like try and run around and be competent, like it was teasing. Because Billy Mays was great. I want to see more so bad. Oh. And Bison. So if you don't know, there was the one episode recently of the Frollo Show. Not recently, I guess, actually. It got censored, obviously, because of copyright claims. But I was able to be there when it wasn't copyright claimed, actually. I got to see what it was like and how the voice acting I think it was voice acting, I'm not sure. But M. Bison was always like a character to kind of introduce very late because he was from Lead Fighters and that was considered a separate series for a bit. But after being brought in, you know, he was a goofy character. And then there's kind of started to be that thing where like Frollo and Gaston and M. Bison and Gaio were like a quad group, and I liked that a lot. And M. Bison, as it kind of went on, he gained this like he chilled out, which was really strange. Like a lot of these characters, obviously, they grow and change from their source, obviously, and gain different emotions and things they were obviously wouldn't be seeing out of them like before. But M. Bison, seeing him so chill and go, "You've got to calm down," to Gaio whenever he was having his meltdown, was impressive. And then he stood up to Marco Antonio Reggio. That was so impressive. I think his relationship with a lot of the unique characters in the Frollo Show is also really interesting. I do hope we see more of them someday. They were pretty good. I'm gonna put him in A as well. I think he's great. Maybe S tier? No, I think I'll put him in A for right now. Bimo. This is such a funny character because like before Chin did he cut down the first 5 episodes to the Frollo cut, as you probably see on the playlist. There's a lot more Adventure Time representation, but now after the cut, the only really Adventure Time character is really Bimo and Lemongrab, which is funny. But I like Bimo. I think Bimo was funny. The fact he turns into like the big fire thing from Soul Calibur, I think, is goofy. I like how he was made by Billy Mays. He has some really unique connections, and he's got a cool like power set and relationship with Frollo. It's cute. It's cute. I don't think he's that complicated or crazy. In fact, he's kind of he could be a little bit of a dope sometimes, but that might also just be Bimo as general, like from the original source. But he's kind of, he could be very, don't know what the word is. He doesn't like going against the grain. He likes to go by his guidelines, and that's it. He's very down to the rules. But yeah, this guy, I don't remember who this is. I think this is one of Downfall Pillars, bunker buddies. Is it? I genuinely don't remember who he is. I think, God, I should know who this guy is. He does something. Yeah, I don't remember who he is. I'm gonna put him down here. I'm sorry. For a lot of like the bunker buddies have scenes and stuff. I don't remember them very well. It could be Hans, it could be Krebs. I'll put him here as well because I'm not gonna remember. He pops up at the end as well. I think I only remember this guy for. No, actually. We'll see. Maybe I'll come back to them. I think I will remember them for something else. Chris R. Wow, I do think it's funny that he existed and came back for like a bit, and then like Ronald happened, and then he died. But he got more voice lines than I think I've ever seen him use. So that was actually funny, but he didn't do anything. He worked for the Frollo Arabian Bros. He wanted his fucking money. Got it, and he lost it. It's not really relevant. Garterbelt, I think is his name? Yeah. This is a weird character to talk about. He kind of shows up late for like its flash arc. And he kind of, it's weird, because we had Scanty and Nisaux for the longest time already, but he worked under Hades. They worked under Hades. And didn't you kind of establish Hades and Garterbelt as brothers, I think is what it was? I guess it makes sense, but he also didn't do anything, which is weird. Like, he kind of just came up and showed up and died. I will say, while he did die, all of his interactions with Tommy Wiseau were insane. I love like how a lot of his interactions, like, but that's more so for Tommy, I feel like, not so much himself. He kind of, I feel like if he didn't die so fast, maybe he could have, like, Chin could have elaborated on how different he was as a character. But as is, I'm actually gonna put him in D. Like, he kind of existed, maybe now. I don't think he left much of an impression, unfortunately. You know who did leave an impression though? I have a game to play! Yeah, we got it, Dimitri. You know, he didn't matter at all. But I think Chin left an Chin, like, you know, this guy had like 2 episodes basically, if that. Maybe 3, I guess, of screen time. He leaves more of an impression than I think any of these characters in the Pity Team would. Just for like his interactions with God, I can't believe I'm fucking saying this. Only in the Frollo Show you can say this. Only Dimitri and Reggie could have like a relationship in this series. How does Chin do this? He goes from being this cowardly guy who can't really do anything to being confident. He knows he has to get in there and do things. That's cool. And then like in the shorts for like the voting things, Chin does a great job of showing that he still can't hold a drink, and Reggie will still always help him out. Like they are bros at this point. They're bros. I like him. I think he's cool. I think he left an impression on me. Reggie is Reggie, but you know, I don't care. He's literally just, he shows up to kick Mormon Jesus' ass so hard. Like, I think Reggie himself could have beaten Mormon Jesus. If there was like a power scale to this, I think he'd be up there. Like, that was nuts. That was a cool scene. And it makes me sad that like Reggie probably won't be used again, because they kind of just, the show is basically ending without him. God, which Frollo is this? There's a couple Frollo cousins, and I always get the Russian and the German one mixed up. I think it's, oh god, I'm sorry. I'm gonna mess up. I'm just gonna start calling him like the Russian Frollo and the German Frollo. Russian Frollo is weird. I think over time I've kind of warmed up to him a little bit. Haha. That he has a really unique relationship with his respective character. Like, you have Yusuf Frollo, who has a relationship with Yusuf Gaston, but he has a relationship with Stalin, and it's weirdly wholesome. I do feel like Stalin actually wound up being a more interesting character than him, though. Like, he just has ice powers, and then he just kind of dies. He's very, like, he did show up to be Hitler very early in the story, which is the Russians win again, something like that. He's very kooky and funny. But I feel like among the Frollo characters, I feel like he also isn't very well developed, which is strange. I do think he's cool, though. He's neat. He also has a funny hat. I like the Russian hats. Fags. We got Fags. This dude's cool. I think, like, Frollo, I mean, like, he is very much just, like, pulled straight from YouTube parodies. I mean, Downfall parodies in general. Where it's just, like, Hitler is the Robotnik and he is the Sonic. I do think it's funny. He's just, his personality is a prankster. And his friendship with Mephiles is so funny. Like, you wouldn't consider, again, this is, again, a Frollo Show specific thing. You wouldn't expect the guy from the Downfall parodies that makes this kooky smug grin to be friends with the Sonic 06 villain no one talks about. Like, only Frollo Show will do this. And I think Figs is the lesser of the two. I still think they function so great as a duo, and I'm glad they will eventually get added to Smash Bros. Law as a tag team, because they're very memorable. They're a very memorable pair, and they could be like, they're very representative of the friendships in this show that kind of just form naturally. So I'm putting him up. I'm actually trying to put him in S tier. No, I'll put him in A tier. I think he should be high up at least. Mephiles. So this is a very funny character. I feel like I didn't have as much of a... I mean, I've always kind of liked him generally as a character. But I feel like I've kind of warmed up to him a lot, because now I'm much more in the know about the Sonic 06 in general and what Mephiles is supposed to be. And where all his weird lines come from. I always wondered where Chin got them from. And also, if you saw the recent Frollo Show episode, you know that by pure accident, I forgot to submit my donation message. I mean, my donation character for being a Patreon member. And I got Mephiles picked for me, and so he goes, "Heble, did you forget me?" And it's so funny. It made me feel bad, because I was my first time ever doing that kind of thing on Patreon. I was still kind of getting new to it. I was very new to it, obviously. So that's still goofy. I'm always going to remember that. It's a very special moment to me. And Mephiles is just funny. He's like a less competent prankster, but he has more charisma than Feline, which is hilarious. Like, you wouldn't think him to have charisma. He's like, "Flower, chicken, would you want some sunscreen? Oh yes, like, and my Game Boy drowned in darkness." Like, oh my god, he's so funny. I love his animations. His Chin does him so well. He's very expressive. You know what? I think over time he has become my favorite character, especially after the recent goofs. I will put him up in my favorite tier. Thank you, Chin, for making me more aware of who this is for the longest time. I feel like he's so grown on me so hard. Now Frollo. Oh my god, I can't believe we're at Frollo already. Dude, how do I even summarize what Frollo is to the Frollo Show? He is the main character. And I feel like he has become... The Frollo in this series is so different from the Frollo in the movie, obviously, now. Like, he has such a defined personality and character. He, like... Maybe it's definitely because Gaston is in his life, you know? Like, he's much more casual and laid back and goofy. He may be like a priest in this universe. He might have had like some mild interactions with Quasimodo and other characters, but he's just kind of a goof. He's very casual about his religion. I don't think and it's just, he's a cool pyromancer. He has deep Dragon Ball Z powers, and you know, I spoke to someone recently about how Frollo and Gaston's relationship in the show is like what panty and stockings relationship is in their show, and Panty and Stocking's relationship in this show is what Frollo's arc is. Frollo and Gaston's arc, I kind of guess, is in their movies. It's so weird, like how that works. I don't know how Chin did it. I feel like, was that the intent? I don't know, but the fact that, you know, Frollo and Gaston are just goofs. They hang out, and that everything kind of just works out for them. They love each other. They're as bros, you know. They even have a Panty and Stocking transformation, so the connections are there. And, you know, he never lets his, like, lust really define him, despite that. He has some crude interests, maybe, but he has, you know, he has a goal. And he does want to get in Panty's pants, obviously. Panty's panties. But at the end of the day, Gaston comes first. In the show, you know, it kind of brought that back. The Panty may be gone, but Frollo and Gaston were always, you know, more important in the end. So, you know, I think it's kind of good that it ended up the way it did. And he's you know, he's cool. He's cool. Chin made Frollo, like, actually, like, a redeemable, like, awesome hero. As he once said, I know everyone says, oh, I will mindfuck the viewer. No, you know what I remember? When he goes, I am awesome. Like, I remember when he says that. That will always, like, because he is awesome. Frollo is awesome, damn it. I'm putting him in, like, the top of the top. You know he is. He's not one of my favorites, obviously. I keep my favorites to being the niche characters, obviously, of a source. But yeah. Ricky Cadwell. Garbage Day. You know, this is one of those characters that also joined very late. And they have a unique presence, because this is a reference to Chin's older series. God, what was it? I forget the name of it off the top of my head. It was like an RPG series he kind of did, because that was popular on YouTube back then. And he was, like, often the main character that fought. Yeah, he exists in this source. I mean, he has a lot of cool moments. It's revealed that his like, powers are very unique and they can be exploited. But character-wise, I don't think he really develops at all. He's cool. He's interesting. I think Frollo Show made me more interested about his source as a whole. I want to see it at some point. But yeah. Gary. Oh, God. I love Gary. I think Chin's characterization of Gary is, like, is very adorable. I love Gary. He's like the straight man, kind of, in a way, but he also kind of just goes with the flow. Sometimes, like, he'll freak out, like, oh, why is there a mummy at the bar? And the next second he's drinking with all the other adults. All the other RPG Maker girls are just kind of face palming at it. He's very cool. I think, like, I would totally, like, go out to a bar with Gary. I wouldn't drink anything because I don't drink, but, you know, but I would get water. He's cool. I like him. It makes me wish, you know, I always wish Chin would make a moveset in LoL for Gary, because I want to see him animate Gary more, because he animated Gary really well, and he has popped up in, like, some pictures recently. I've seen you, like, put him around, Chin. I've seen the cameos, the very tiny ones. I see them, like in the Mary showcase for Mama Luigi's Ira Gamer's New Trophy. I saw that little bit. I saw that frame. But in the show, I mean, like, it's very tragic and sad. But even after he dies, he got a little bit of character, and, like, that was very. It was very sweet. I like him. Yeah, I think I'd put him in A tier. I think he ranks highly for me. I'm not ordering these tiers, obviously. Like, I want to eventually do that, but this will probably be long. This guy, you know what? I'm putting him in A tier. He doesn't appear much at all. I think he appears twice in the whole series. But the thing where he slams his hand and causes screen shake, I'll always remember that. That's the thing with Billy Mays that I will always remember. It's cool. God, I forget what his name is. Gunche. He's funny. He's goofy. And his sudden transformation into his other form was crazy. And the fellow gets flashed. And he, like, that was, like, such a turnaround. I like for a character that's almost treated like as a joke and a statue. And he's like a one-use gag that always gets repeated. And Shin kind of did something crazy that no one was expecting. And it kind of didn't go anywhere. Like, the fight didn't go, like, there was no real winner because the fight just kept happening. Everyone just watched because he could see Gunship kick ass. I'll still put him in, like, B tier. He's still, like, Shin did something crazy, but I don't think it didn't really do anything else. Going on, though. I think Going On is very underrated in this community. I think Going On is like, for such a, obviously jokes about Going On being Arabic throughout the show, and that was kind of his thing. Because like obviously there's no other CDI character in this actually. Like, the king makes cameos, but that's really it. I think he's canonically dead after the zombies thing as well. So like to have just this guy, Chin made up a whole backstory for this character you see in a flashback after the other use of after all the other Arabian bros died. And for a character like, you know, that didn't want to fight at all, to kind of all that stuff to suddenly happen, and then just drop bombshell lore on this character and make him so cool. Like the triple bladed sword made of all his fallen brethren was so neat. Like, wow, Chin, what the fuck? How did you do it? How did you like make Going On badass? Like, yeah, you know what? I like Going On. I'm actually gonna put an S here. I think he's very underrated. I think he's really cool. 80 is. I think he's also really cool. I'm gonna put an S here as well. He is such a. I feel like it's kind of harmed by the fact that the Frollo cut happened, and I realized a lot of scenes of Frollo in the underworld had to be cut, unfortunately. It feels like so a lot of the relationship doesn't really blend over as well as it used to, but I always like to think it's still there. And yeah, it showed in like after in the Wolf mention when everything happened that Frollo and Hades, when they work together, are super dangerous. It's stuff like that that's so cool. I love that. I love it when you see team-ups like that actually show that, you know what, if these characters stopped fighting for a second and they could get along, they would be unstoppable. I love it. I think this is Dimitri Frollo? This is the German brother, and this is the one that's actually like a good guy, but gets hypnotized by Hitler because he doesn't want to fight his cousin. He's weirdly nice. I wonder about him. I feel like there's so many loose ends that never got elaborated on, which is sad because I really want to know what his fate is, and especially with everything with Mormon Jesus and Ronald. I feel like everything wasn't getting continued, and I want to know what happened. I want to know what his fate is. But I guess we're not gonna know. I still think he's cool. He's unique in that, in my opinion. I think he's the only other Frollo brother that ranks highly for me. Yeah. Hari, yeah, you know where she's going. Like, she is such a. You know what? No. I think after the recent episode, I'm putting her down to A. She's still great. The fact that she's friends with Jay Maussan and like Adol Ramones is so cool. And I think like her development after Maussan's death and the gods thing was like neat, and how she's actually super powerful and all this. And then Ronald wanted to like use her for something. Maybe they invited her to his club, but we never got to find out. Well, we probably will never know unless Chin decides, you know, he wants to develop that. He's like, maybe he was faking us out with what Constant Panchi was actually saying. Maybe there is like a second plan we don't know about. Who knows? We don't know. But because that happened, she was kind of robbed. I feel like all that build up for nothing. Chin, why? I get it though. I get why Chin did it. Maybe one day. I do think she's cool. She's neat. The Mr. Comedy Relief himself. I think Hitler and Downfall Hitler in this source in Frollo Show is so funny. he has so many, like, he gets pranked all the time, so we see a lot of unique interactions with him and other characters you wouldn't expect. The one with Stalin is so funny. The one with, like, all the scanty Nissans. I forget which one that has a crush on Hitler because they think he's cute when he's upset. That's funny. I think that's adorable. I also think that weirdly, as the show went on, he kind of had this wealth of knowledge, like, of lore. Like, how the fuck did this guy know everything about Wilford Brimley's stuff? That was such a serious moment. It was crazy. Also, he can by yelling loud enough, he can blow up your head, like he did that one of the Wilford clones. That was sick. That was cool. I think Hitler's cool. Only in the Frollo Show, man. Only in the Frollo Show you could not have it. I think he's neat. Early on the show, he was actually kind of a serious threat. Like, he beat Frollo and Gaston around a good bit. Homura. God. We don't know anything about this character. Chin, I don't know if this was like a random cameo he was doing, or if he was building up to something. I still feel like he was building up to something. I don't know if it's still happening or what. Where there was going to be a time rewind or what. God, I want to know. I want to know because, like, I can see I want to see the relationship with Homura and Frollo. I feel like there's something there that you could develop into. It would be neat. It would be neat. But for now, we don't know. We don't know anything, and for that, I'm gonna put her in D tier. She is an enigma. I think she has so much potential, though. I'm so curious. I want to know, man. I want to know. Yeah, no. I think she's even. I'm gonna put her above Frollo, honestly, just because I think her death in the show is such an impact. It's like, if you've heard anything about the Frollo Show, you've probably heard about Eve's death because of how well it was done and how crazy and insane that fight was. It made Eve such a badass, man. It was so cool. And I still think about Eve because of that fight and that and she's not. It's weird because Chin really only used her once after that as like a mirage, and she never really popped up again. I don't know if she ever will, outside of, like, all content. It feels like Chin kind of, like, fell off of using her, but like, I think she, like, I've said it before in other playlists, that she is, like, an honorary Chincherrinas character, where, like, Chin established something so unique with her, that she feels like she's meant to be here for her. Like, that's, like, she left a giant impact. It's crazy how popular Eve is. And, yeah, I think a lot of the show's hype can definitely be thanked by her. Because it's like the random friends and characters that Philip met along the way. They got caught up in his shenanigans, and bad things ended up happening to them, and then he had to, like, all this. It's just like, Eve is a great encapsulation of that. That being said, like, you know, she's not very. I mean, she's a badass, she's cool, but she's also didn't really have that much time in the spotlight compared to a lot of other characters. You can't really say much about her. So I wouldn't call her one of my favorites either. Irene. She's cool. She had her arc in the Pity Gang. I think a lot of people are more invested in her than I am. I feel like I'm not really crazy about her. She's neat. I think Chin's sprites, this art of her, like, he did a good job of animating her once she, like, got out of her pixel form. Yeah. Okay. Chin has probably seen me comment on this character a billion times, especially after the recent episode where it was revealed that he did not matter. Jack Bauer, everyone's gonna be like, what? Really? This guy? Yes, he is in my favorite character list. I always like Jack Bauer. Why? I could not tell you. Maybe it's the Fire Emblem fan in me where, like, you kind of gravitate to the little screen time you see a character get. I just thought it was so kind of random and cool how at the start of the series, he calls up Frollo and he's just like, yo, your cousin is like, has like a nuclear weapon, like, and he's violating my nation's security. Like, you gotta do something. He's bloody and beat. Like, he just got into a fight or something. It's nuts. I don't know what happened to him, but the fact he went out of his way to call Frollo first, it's like, yo, dude, I need your help. You gotta do this for me, man. But I'm giving you this information so you can help. Like, that was kind of just cool. Like, that was memorable. And he never appeared up again after that, really. And then at the very end of the show, basically, I guess he was kind of late, and a couple other characters kind of just realized, no, this is kind of serious. Something bad's happening in France. So this guy came all the way to point a gun at Frollo. This dude, who's never appeared up ever, is probably super outscaled by everybody. But he came out with a gun, and he's like, no, I'm gonna fight you, Ronald, right here, right now. You think I'm not relevant? I'm relevant. That was nuts. That was so cool. That, again, that just spoke to me, man. Like, that was like, you never count every character until they're fully out. And it makes me sad that Chin doesn't do that to more characters, like Mama Lefty. Like, that's another memorable character. That was just kind of a gag, but I've always remembered. We'll get to him. Yeah, and I don't want to spoil it, but I am doing a Frollo Show project that I've been working on for many years. And for the longest time, Jack Bauer is one of those characters in it. And he's not crazy or anything, but I always had him there. So Chin giving him a little bit of a spotlight and a tease, even just a little bit, that made me happy. That really made my day. And it didn't matter, obviously. It was a fake out, it was a Chin troll. It didn't matter at all. But he made it to the cartridge. He wasn't killed or something. He didn't die. He wasn't left behind, like it was implying. He got out. He could come back. Maybe. The potential was there, and that makes me happy. Jafar, yeah, I know. Jafar is more memorable, I feel like, than all the other Alien Bros. Probably because he's been a boss multiple times. He's directly battled with a lot of characters. He's insane. Like, he's a threat anytime this guy appears. He's like on par with Baptiste, honestly. And the scene with Tommy Wiseau, like, oh man, I will always hate Jafar for that. Like, he literally resulted in Tommy's death. And God, we'll get to it when we talk about Mark. I think Mark's here. Mark's here Mark's here. There he is. Yeah, we'll talk about Mark when we get there. But like, fucking deserve. You get what you fucking deserve. Yeah, he's cool. Jane Mouson, God, I think this was the series that solidified everyone's love with Jane Mouson. Like, this, it made him such an empathetic teddy bear, and the things that happened to him were so sad, and his relationship with Hari is so wholesome. Like, they're drinking buddies, they're so obsessed with aliens and UFOs, and they're goofing around all the time. Like, they're so cool. So when the thing happens, like, I think that's the only time Mouson's ever really shown a great deal of emotion on screen, I think. Obviously, I doubt Chin had a hard time finding a picture of him crying or frowning, but gosh, that hit me in the gut when he frowned a little bit and he was gone, and I was like, Mouson, like, oh man, it makes me sad. God, this guy. He's a gag, he's goofy, I like him. I can't really say anything less about him. He's one of the bunker buddies. I don't really remember. He's kind of like here and there all around the square. He's never really mattered, but I remember him. He pops up enough that I actually remember who he is. Not right now, but I have his name written down somewhere for a certain project. He also beat, what was it? I think he got matched up with the dude or something in the Facebook Frollo Show poll, and I forget if he won or lost. I think he beat him, and that's why I have him, but it was just like, it was such a battle of nothing, but he has more screen time than the dude does. He has more of a character than the dude does. Kronk. God, this character is so funny, because, like, he became, like, a member. He went from being, like, a random goofy villain to actually being, like, a good guy. And then he kind of just had all these cool action scenes and stuff. And like, I love all the lines Chin uses for this character. He's very funny. I like him a lot. I definitely will put him high, very high. Also, not to spoil a lot of my project, but whenever I was working on it, I got most of his assets first because it was way easier to. For some reason, Jin just does a lot of good poses with him, like this pose with the plate. He has another really cool action shot and stuff. It's just he got a lot of love. LeFou, man, this character got done dirty. I love LeFou. I've always loved LeFou in general. I think he's a funny character. I'm gonna put him higher. I think he's funny how his relationship with Gaston has changed, kind of, because of the existence of Frollo. Like they have more of like a they hate each other a bit more. Like LeFou definitely he got deleted from reality, which is sad. I feel like that was a waste of a good character. I think LeFou had a lot of potential, but yeah. I do like that I don't know, like, Chin, how do you explain the fact this guy killed Gaston early on? What's the logic behind that? How'd that happen? Huh? Give me 1 second. Great. Talking so much will make you thirsty. Yeah, I like LeFou. I wish he didn't die. Lemongrab. Honestly, I'm not that crazy about him. I like that he was such an important character, weirdly enough. He had a lot of crazy moments. He inadvertently led to the death of Ayumu. And Frollo gets flashed for a bit. Well, I say death but he's a zombie, so. So I have a little, maybe that's why I don't like him as much. I'm like, fuck you, Lemongrab. But no, I don't really remember him that much. I don't know what it is. I really enough remember Finn in that brief bit where he accidentally killed Frollo more than I remember Lemongrab. And that's weird because Lemongrab's death has a giant impact on Frollo. Maybe it's because he was a fan of the show? And he felt bad? Like, I don't know. What's the relationship? Like, the show itself in universe has never really been elaborated on that much. Obviously, because that's just, like, meant to be, like, a name title drop joke, I think. But I'm wondering. Sometimes I wonder about it. Leonidas. Yeah, he's cool. He exists here. Yeah, I don't really think he did anything crazy, but I love all of his action scenes. His relationship with Maratsuki is interesting. Like how they're kind of like quiet but skillful fighters. It's kind of like a father and daughter relationship, I guess. Kind of. I don't know how to describe it, but they're cool. They're like Maratsuki just has that kind of vibe to her, where they really get along. And they're on the same wavelength. So, but like other than that, like he kind of just exists. He's more of a reference to Chin's older projects more than anything. But I'm glad he's here. As I've said in the little tier list, I love Leonidas. Maratsuki. You know, I think she in this series is so crazy. The fact that, like, Chin really weaponized the fact that she has, like, these simple sprites a lot. Thinking, like, oh, she's gonna stay like that forever because all the other RPG Maker characters transformed. She didn't. For the longest time, I thought, that's gonna stick. And then Chin did all that. Oh my god, Chin did all that. God. That all was crazy. Like, I don't even think I can really describe, like, how crazy Maratsuki is. I just say, obviously, watch the show for yourself. I've spoiled a lot of it here. Obviously, I'm gonna do that. It's tier list. I do feel like if you don't know anything about the show, Maratsuki is a crazy part of it, and you should definitely check it out. Miko. God, why are you here? No, I'm putting you down here. She turns into a xenomorph. That's her joke. I don't watch Kill la Kill, so I feel like I might be missing something. But yeah, I don't get it. Sorry. Like, she's not for me. Also, but Billy Mays laughs at her, so that is funny. I mean, he doesn't laugh, he yells at her. Mama Lefty. Yeah, no, this is like, yeah. I'm sorry. If you think Mama Lefty is a bad joke, shut up. The fact that Every single like Arabian character is like, oh dude, what a racially insensitive character. It's just, I love that gag so much, man. I'm so sad he existed for such a brief period of time and he never came back. God, why didn't he come back? I hope Shin references him in a joke video again someday. I think he was a very funny concept, and the fact that he was actually important in defeating Jafar, like at least whittling him down like a stage, was nice. That was awesome. I like him. I think he's funny. Oh, you know what? Yeah, this character, Marco Antonio Reguillo. This character is like, I feel like he's in ways way more memorable than a lot of other characters. Like, I mean, this guy is the reason you know who dies. You know, you see his face. This guy fucked up. Also, Chen actually met this guy in person and he got a bros pose, which was awesome. That was neat. That was cool. Like, I'll even put him over Gonam, actually. I think, like, he has such a defined personality where he is, like, so pompous that how Chen interprets this guy's, like, a game show power set and, like, shooting shoes in giant car. He can levitate, he can scan you, he can, like, summon the entire, like, Mexican, like, population to do spirit bomb. You're like, what? Like, oh my god, this is such a cool character. It makes me, I hope Chen uses him more in other things. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind if he got a LOL moveset. I think everyone would love that. Like, this is one of those characters like Jane Mausan and Don Ramon, where I think, like, Shin's bringing his culture into his sources for other people to experience. And he left, everyone knows who this guy is now, I feel like. Mark, okay, you know what, yeah, here's another one. Yeah, I love Mark. Mark's cool. You're gonna fall off the earth. That's a promise. Like, whoa, dude. How the fuck did you make Mark sick as fuck, dude? How do you do that? How do you do that? Like, Tommy Wiseau, where did I even put him? Did I put him up here? No, I haven't talked about Tommy yet, I don't think. Yeah, we haven't gotten to Tommy yet. Mark is like, if Tommy wasn't already an indication that Jin likes the room on his characters a lot and he does them a great service, Mark is proof that Shin doesn't need just Tommy to show that. Like, Tommy is one thing, he makes Mark awesome. Like, he kills off Tommy Wiseau and gives the spotlight to Mark. That's insane. Like, can you imagine, like, any other YouTube poop series doing that? I can't imagine anyone doing that as a joke. Tommy is the one you remember. But no, Mark was sick. He had so many moments. He finally put an end to Jafar. His power set of regeneration, his giant strength pool. He's cool. He's so cool. And then you kind of see him interacting with other characters as the series go on. He kind of gains a weird bro-ship with he sees Tommy and Marco, which is cool. I wish we got more of that elaborated on. I feel like there was definitely missed potential for that. I think he interacts with Ayumu a couple of times as well. That might also be biased in that way, but you see him fighting in the background a bit because they both can fly and fight at the same time, obviously. So there's obviously, you know, potential there. Mormon Jesus. Wait. Do I even put him in that line? I'll put him in A. I think he was definitely wasted. But he also had like so much time to shine. You know, like he was building up to something, and I wish we got it. I want to see more of this character so badly. I love Chin's interpretation of him as like this Star Wars level threat, like grabbing the power of other worlds, universes, and then revealing, you know what? No, like I'm actually, you know, I'm good with you, Frollo and Gaston. We're bros. I was expecting him to actually like defeat Ronald and everyone else, and then work together. No, he was actually go against Frollo and Gaston and like double cross them. That didn't really happen, which is weird. I was totally expecting it. Maybe he was going to do that, but he didn't get the chance. Who knows? We won't know. I think it was a bit of a waste. I still want to see something with Ayumu and Mormon Jesus actually being like in cahoots. I would love that reveal in some way. I just want to see. I just love the idea. I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about Ayumu again. I want to see an Ayumu rivaling Frollo because like he has the potential to be such a smug antagonist if you let him. I can see the potential. It also would suck for Frollo to see his friend turned an actual like enemy. It would be so sick. Morgan, you're not a character. I don't remember anything about her at all. I feel like she's like, compared to Dimitri, she doesn't get any like characters to bounce off of, it feels like. Yeah. Console and Punchy, he became JoJo. I mean, he was always a character that kind of existed as a weirdo. He was always one of those weird characters. I never got his gimmick. And then after JoJo happened, I'm a little bit more negative about him. No, I'm not really negative. I think he's still cool. It's just like I don't watch JoJo. I watched some videos on what the joke is, but he's not crazy. I do get that, because like again, the lead up to Gaston's reveal of being a villain was because of Punchy existing, like, and the bouncing off of these two had and thumbnails and stuff. So I think he's important, and it's cool just to like all the ways you can reinterpret how he behaves, because he doesn't speak. It's like we don't have many characters that don't speak. There's obviously Monotsuki and all the RPG Maker girls, but he was a little bit different because he used science and transformed and stuff. Some RPG Maker girls too, but you get the point. Panty, Panty is like the Frollo of the series, which is so funny because this is a series with Frollo. Like, I like how Chin reversed the roles with Panty becoming absorbed in her own lust and becoming ambivalent to everyone else. Kind of like, it's such a unique take. And then to find out, like, she could never be rescued. Like, that's it, that's gone, she's gone, that's it. That's crazy that Shin did that. And that's like the one thing that I actually really like about the new ending. Like, I think that's cool. I applaud Shin for that. I think it's just good. I think it's what, as someone who thinks Panty could go back and forth with being to someone, like, I don't think Frollo should pine for her, because she's obviously taking advantage of him a little bit. And obviously, as a show, he kept bouncing back and forth about not really caring about her that much and caring about his bro more. But she, I get it. It's cool. I think she's great. I think she's definitely important. And her characterization is one of the better things about the show. But it's easy to miss, obviously. Pyron, Urine. He shows up for a couple things and he dies. We're in a crisis. I don't really remember anything else beyond that. I don't think he's bad, because I think there is some funny gags, like Jafar's thing killed him. Ronald, God, oh my God, I have a complicated feeling about Ronald. So, for the longest time, the big theory everyone had with Ronald is that, I made a joke about this in my group as well, as with friends who don't know a lot about the Frollo Show, how everyone thought he was secretly Justin Bieber in disguise from the first episode, when Frollo burned him up in flames, and under all like the mask and stuff, he was actually a Justin Bieber. No, we won't. It's basically not. It's not true. But Chin always brought attention to like Justin Bieber, and the Frollo gets flashed. Maybe it was just a joke. Maybe that's all it was. It was literally just a troll. But God, I wish that was. It would have really made the series come full circle. But it is what it is. As is, I think he's a cool villain. He's personally not. No, I think he deserves to be an S tier. He kind of like solidified the Ron Rude, evil Ronald feelings in my vibe. In my opinion, I like him, but I definitely think he's not my favorite villain. There's definitely others. Scanty knee socks. I don't know. Okay, one thing I don't like about this tier list this person made, they're separate for some reason. And I know someone made a comment, they're kind of just the same, but no, they're different. They have different personality quirks and traits. One's definitely more memorable than the other. That being said, I'm still going to put them in like A tier, I guess. I like them. I think they're cool. They have a lot of interactions and how they bounce off of certain characters, and how they have different relationships, and how their relationship changes with stalking specifically. That's always been something I liked. The zombie cameos. Actually, I'm gonna put them down here. I'm not gonna rank. I can't rank all the zombie cameos. Shaquille O'Neal, I think that's who this is. Yeah, he's funny. He's funny. That's it. He shows up a couple of times to save the day. I wish he got more attention, but yeah, not much to say. He has a cool Shazam movie for him. Silver. Okay, so I think Silver's funny, but I also think he actually gets a lot of times to shine, which is cool. But wow, I mean after watching the Sonic 06 in its entirety, I can appreciate his goofy characterization a bit more, and how he bounces off his new Mephiles, how they're kind of just like goofy. But yeah, I'm not too crazy about him. He's okay. He's definitely cool. Like, Jinnok gives him a lot of good moments. Spartacus. I feel like this might be a hot take. I don't really like Spartacus that much. I just never really like. It's probably because he also joined so late, so he has the least amount of time to really become relevant, which is a shame. But yeah, I'm still gonna put him in C because I feel like he killed a couple of characters. Maybe no, he killed like one, and he saved someone's life. So he was coolish. I actually wish we got a one-on-one interaction with him and Leonidas, like a fight for real, like one-on-one. But maybe that would have helped. I don't know. Before he got unbrainwashed. Stalin. So I feel like as time has gone on, I've warmed up to Stalin a lot. I don't know what it is. Like, the more I analyze his character, the more I find him really interesting. I always thought, oh, he's a funny guy who was in like World War II black and white video, and everything around him was black and white. He's a cryomancer compared to Frollo being a pyromancer. But I don't know, like his relationship with his Frollo feels so genuine, so nice. I remember it a lot. And it's like an reverse where actually I think I like him more than his Frollo. Which is funny to say, because like the thing where like he's calling out for his bro when Gary's calling out for Abe, and like he's not getting an answer, that gets my heartstrings a little bit. And then like whenever he kind of realizes like his bro was probably dead, he starts getting genuinely angry, like the only time you've probably ever seen it in the entire series. Like that was cool. And then he just got wiped out instantly. And then how he's like, we shall endure this eternity together, comrade. Like, it just feels so wholesome. It's weird how Shin can do that. I'm actually gonna put him in like my favorite character now, which is weird to say. Again, it's only in Frollo Show. I think I can definitely say that he's up there now for me. Stalking. God, I think the longer time goes on for her, I hate her more and more. Like she's definitely a villain though that you want to hate. That's the intention, I think. She's responsible for a lot of the things Frollo goes through, a lot of his bad judgments, a lot of the things that happen that make his life worse. We'll restart the video. Maybe I'll play I should play something else. I wish I could play something else, but I think you are meant to hate her though, and her relationship is important. I do think like she makes me a little bit too angry. Nah, I'll still put her next to her. She's important. She's like one of the big four. Sorry, you drink. But yeah, I can't. I definitely would put her further down the chain though. Patty just feels way more compelling. T-Hawk. He put Mormon Jesus into a burrito. That happened. I know he's a Elite Fighters character mainly, I think. So he has more appearances there. So I don't want to put him in pity because he appeared once. I always did like T-Hawk as a Street Fighter character. It's not really going to help his case, though. Sorry. It will, again, whenever I watch Street Fighters, maybe I'll redo this tier list. Tommy Wiseau. Oh my god. You know, I've talked about it before. I think Tommy is like, the room is like Shin's baby. Like, he loves Tommy. He treats Tommy with such respect. Tommy is one of the first characters Frollo ever meets in the show. Obviously, he's not the first, but he's one of them. And Their relationship is so good. They have he's such a genuine friend of Frollo, and I don't think Frollo ever takes him seriously. So I don't really consider them to be as strong a bro as say Ayumu, which is mutual. He's just got a different vibe that Frollo doesn't always jive with, but he's always there. Anything for you, Frollo. And he has such a genuinely heartfelt moments. He's responsible for the key thing, so people can't revive. He's battle hardened. He's cool. He's strong. He's neat. I like him. I think he's definitely one of Chin's favorite characters. Period. And I'm glad because I maybe make another Star Room Chin. I know I'd watch it. Guile. I put him. If you saw the LOL tier salary, I'm not very fond of Smash Bros. LOL Guile, but I did say I like Frollo Show Guile. That's correct. I have seen a bit of Elite Fighters, obviously, so I will take that into account. And I've always liked Guile more in Elite Fighters as well. And he's just it's just as long as it's not LOL, he's great. And even though it's muted now in the VOD, his new scenes, with Madatsuki and stuff, and Bison, how their friendship was tested, that was cool. It showed that their friendship wasn't totally perfect, how Gaston and Frollo's was kind of also not perfect. But yeah, I don't have much to add on that. I think he's just way more interesting here. Umlaut, this guy is funny. I like Umlaut. Umlaut's cool. I think he's one of the clown enemies, obviously, in the show, and Frollo has to bounce off his unique power sets differently. He's a great counter to Ayumu. And then Carnival is such an interesting source for Evil Resonance, the Evil Resonance arc. I like it. He's funny, but I kind of wish when he came back he did a bit more, if that makes sense. I feel like he was kind of just around. But he isn't that impressive when you get down to it. He's just a floating hit, so I guess it kind of makes sense. I still will put him high, though. I like mid. He's okay. I like him. I like the Dead Resonance arc in general, though, so... He'll take his place, but it's how I feel about that arc as a whole. And this guy. He went along with Jack Bauer, and he got teased. But before that, he didn't really appear at all, I think. And now he's had even less time to be relevant. I'm sorry. If I like Jack Bauer way more personally. Wilford Brimley. Yeah, you know where he's going. He is the villain of the show, let's be real. He's the best villain. He's such a good source, and he had so much material to work with, and then, yeah, I like it. I think Wilford's cool. I don't really have any more to add. Obviously, if you body horror isn't your kind of thing, and it's honestly, I've never been crazy about body horror. Body horror doesn't get me that well at all. I'm not afraid of it. It's kind of whatever to me. I'm not freaked out, but I know a lot of people are. So Wilford, anytime they see him, they're very disturbed. Sometimes, I'm not. It's whatever for me. I think it can look good sometimes. It can look really in some other situations, but it doesn't take away from the show for me. I am Wilford Brimley, and I have an unquenchable thirst for power. He's just a goofy guy. Yomika, oh my god, you know what, I'm not even gonna... Chin's love of Yomika. Shin's Yomika love of Yomika will never die. It will, his use of Yomika and the Wilford Brimley arc was insane. And beyond that, she had a lot of good combat moments as well. Her relationship with Mato was very wholesome, and her characterization is great. I do think, I wish... her death obviously was sad, but it was gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I feel like that was necessary for the plot, but the fact that Shin was willing to do that, to kill one of his favorite characters, to get the development for another, and push the plot along, was cool. That was sick. I love that. And he always makes good use of her power set. The fact that when she combined all of her effects, so good. That was cool. Very sick. I love it. Yusuf Gaston. Maybe this is just me, but I've always thought Yusuf Gaston is a little bit over. He's not loved enough. I think it's cool that we have a Frollo. Like, he's unlike the real Gaston. Like, he was kind. There's no other, like, obviously other regional Gastons outside of like a Yakuza Gaston exists. He didn't know Frollo at first. Like, they were completely separate, doing their own thing. And I think his gags are good when he first appears. I also like that despite the fact that they didn't really know each other very long, Yusuf Gaston was willing to die for his brother. He wasn't willing to go on. I think that genuine, like, broship, weirdly, it feels more genuine than it does for the real Gaston sometimes. It's like, he's willing to die for Frollo. And I feel like there were times where Gaston didn't show up to help Frollo at all. That's just me. So I'm actually gonna put him up in A tier. No, I'm not even gonna. I will put him up here with his bro. I think for a lot of people who would be way further down. But yeah, I'm putting him up high. Yzma. So this is a funny character to talk about because like she changed a lot over the show. She has like so many developments. She has like the arc where she pulled her leg up and she was like almost freaked out and Kronk became an ally. The mech, I forget what it's called, the something of life. It was a funny name, it's creative. Also, I love how even despite that, like Kronk and Yzma kind of show they still kind of feel like they have a connection as a pair. They still bros pose together in the Wolf Mansion, which is cool. I think it's unique giving her a mech. It made her way more interesting. That was a really cool way to use her. And to reveal that in the end, like, you know, she wasn't all she was cracked up to be as like an ally either. Like she was always going after her own interests. Like, that was cool. That was neat. I like that. I like that even no character was left behind. She didn't make it out. She kind of got fucked, but in a way, it kind of helped Mormon Jesus, I guess. It helped. She didn't do anything to Wilford, we probably wouldn't get the new ending we have now, I guess. So there's that. I'll put her in A tier. I think she's definitely cool. Did I put her? Oh yeah, I did. I put them together. I like them. They're cool. And I think that's everybody. Yeah. I think Nicolas Cage is here, but I think he's Elite Fighters exclusive character, so I won't rank him until I've actually watched Elite Fighters. I know he does appear in Elite Fighters. I read the wiki page, but I need to actually watch the episode because there's so many gags and things you can miss that won't like be absorbed properly. Yeah, I think that's everybody. Yeah, no. This is definitely like the first time I've ever done content about the Frollo Show. I hope I can do more. I like this. I love this source a lot. It is ending soon, so obviously I talked a bunch of spoilers. But if anything I said sounds mildly interesting, I definitely implore you to check out the Frollo Show. It's very niche. It has a lot of weird stuff. It was made around an odd time in YouTube's history. It did start as a YouTube poop. It's around that time, but I still think it's so cool, and you should absolutely check it out. I love it, and there's a lot of cool things and jokes you can appreciate that I didn't spoil it for you here. Also, you should just subscribe to Chin in general. He makes good stuff, and I think, like, you know, he deserves a little bit more attention. He gets it now. He gets like a shout out now and then from some people, but I want to give him another. Damn it, and he's cool. But yeah, that's it. That's my tier list. I guess like I'm not gonna order all these tiers individually, but because at the end of the day, they're all great. I think if I had to order any of them, I would put them on the other because I like gag characters a lot. I'm a Fire Emblem fan. I love individual one-off characters way too much. But Ayumu, again, is my favorite, absolutely. I've always loved Ayumu, and I hope he does appear again sometime soon in something. We never really got a scene where he really had a new animation style. Like Chin, like for one thing in Frollo's story, used a scene of him with like different subtitles and stuff, and they looked really nice. But then we didn't get more Ayumu. I God, I want to see a higher quality AU get animated for like a skit or something. Just something, man. I'll take anything. But yeah, no. I've been going on for a while. That's my tier list. I will see you next time. Y'all have a good night. Bye bye.